What if I told you that you have probably been lied to when it comes to chasing your passion, chasing your purpose? I think when you get to a certain stage in life, and maybe when you get to a certain stage of success in life, it's very easy to say that to someone. Like, hey, Alan, you should really chase your purpose, brother. You should really do what you're passionate about. But I think it's easy to forget how challenging it is to turn your passion into a profit if you've already done it and you've been there for a decade.
I was at an entrepreneurial panel last week, and these are two very successful multimillionaire business owners, from what I've gathered. And one of them kept talking about passion. But I stopped everything at one point during the panel, and I said, wait. And I turned to them and I said, how many spreadsheets do you guys use? And one of them laughed and said, Alan, I have 8 open on my computer right now. And I said, here's the key. I know we're talking about passion. I get it. Love what you do. I get it. Fulfillment. Yeah. But the real reason us 3 are successful up here, and we have the privilege and honor of speaking to all of you, is because we are in the data every day. We make data-driven decisions.
Next Level Nation, today for episode number 2046. What I wish I understood about chasing your passion. So in the very beginning of this journey, I started a podcast in 2017, and I fell in love with podcasting. And I said, if I could do that for a living, I'm passionate about it. I feel like that's a piece of my purpose, right? To help people raise their awareness with my voice. That's a piece of my purpose for sure. I probably would have and did say, you should really chase your passion, because it seems empowering. And it seems like the right advice, and it seems like the right thing to do, because if you're able to somehow capture that elusive thing, you will be wildly fulfilled. And you probably will feel very quote unquote successful, and you'll learn a ton about yourself, and it'll still be challenging, it'll still be hard, but it'll be deeply meaningful. Alan sent me a clip. He's been sending me a lot of clips lately in my story, in my Instagram story. And do you know the guy's name? I think his handle on Instagram is Prof Galloway. I think his name is, he's a professor, and I think his last name is Galloway. I
don't know. One thing I've just want to share briefly is I care more about concepts than I do about who's saying them.
Well, he does. He said some wise things in the past. I've seen him pop up a bunch.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
I don't even think I follow him. He was on something. I honestly don't even know where I saw the clip.
Yeah. Well, Alan sent me this clip, and this guy was being interviewed on a podcast, and he was talking about how they were talking about the entertainment industry, I think.
Anything that is romanticized as very sexy, anything that's very sought after, sports, music, any acting, career that is like, looks really awesome from the outside in.
Yeah. And then one of the things he said was, I think he was saying let's just say he was talking about acting, even though the numbers are going to be skewed. He said something along the lines of, it was like 85% of the people in that industry didn't have to file for taxes last year because they made under $24,000. Mm-hmm. Or they did. Yeah. If you think about that, that
US,
number,
by the way,
in the U.S.
Again, I'm going to
butcher the stats. Don't hold me to anything I say. Let me live my life. Thank you so much. just for as an example. But
what did that clip mean to you? Because I'm always sending Kev stuff on purpose to try to.
It made me sad. It made me sad a little bit, because we made it. Like, we not made it. Jesus, we're not even fucking close. We get to do what we're passionate about every day.
Yeah, from the understanding of doing something that you're passionate about.
Yes,
we have made it.
We're on the upper end for sure. Yeah, we're on the upper end for sure. It made me sad because I think, I don't know. I feel like.
Isn't it weird how now that we've quote unquote made it, I actually kind of understand why everyone doubted us?
I never doubted why people doubted.
I did, big time.
Makes
what do you mean? Someone has
freaking
to do
sense.
It. Yeah.
I think the number one thing is it made me sad because it was like, it was almost like think realistic or suffer. Kind of. Because it is empowering to say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That type of stuff. Or if you're passionate about what you do, like every day is a gift. Like that type of stuff. It sounds really good, but it's just the survivor bias of, yeah, if I say that, I'm forgetting how much it took to get here, how many podcasters that we started this journey with that are no longer podcasting. I'm forgetting all of the downsides, and I'm suggesting to you that you should chase your passion, because maybe eventually, if you do make it, which statistically is unlikely, if we're being honest, it will be worth it. I do believe it will be worth it, but it just, I don't know, it's like it's removed the...
If I was a pilot and I said, "Hey Kev, there's a 13% chance you and I make it to the destination. Are you game?"
Anything less than 90%, I probably wouldn't do.
And here's the thing. If you fail in business, the good news is you can get up and fail again, and then get up and fail again. And on the entrepreneur panel again, I kind of turned it to them and said, "How many times have you guys failed?" Because it got very passionate oriented. The whole thing was like, well, I did this and I did that, and now I own all these sky zones, and I did this, and this tech company, they bought our patent, and we grew from this. I said, wait, hold up. How many businesses have you guys failed at? And they started laughing again. And they're like, I mean, 6, 7, 8, like, perfect. Can we talk to the students about how bad this is?
Why is that so valuable from your perspective? Like, why is that? Why is passion such a big focus to be spoken about, but the real stuff isn't, from your perspective?
There's a lot of reasons. My brain came up with 3. Number 1 is you forgot what it was like in the beginning and how terrible it was. It's really easy. I mean, you've gotten 2 or 3 referrals today.
Today was a weird day.
That doesn't happen in the beginning. In the beginning, no. you have to fight for every dollar.
I had a moment. I was walking out of my office. Clients emailed me. We have existing clients. I've been working very, very diligently with them. And they emailed me, and the subject was, it was like off of scope of work project. And essentially it was, hey, we need something done. We would like you to do it for us. Can you have it done by the end of day April 28th? And how much will that cost? And I walked out of the office just saying to myself, that's why it compounds. You get a client who then asks you if you can do other stuff that you never would have the opportunity to do if you didn't work with that client in the first place, and it just compounds. But I can understand why people lose sight of that eventually. I can.
Yeah. The hardest thing in the world is to not lose sight of that. I lose sight of the not believing in myself, and, well, that's probably a bad example because I feel like I always did believe in myself, but I do lose sight of how bad it was to be single. Being single and lonely was terrible. I totally lose sight of that. My everyday is I'm in love every day. It's fucking awesome. So my worst day now is like better than my best day back then in some ways, right? So I think that you just it becomes a new normal, and it's hard to remember.
Okay, what are the other 2?
The other 2. So the first one is people forget what it was like in the beginning. The second one is it's less sexy, and people get turned off. Like, I'm in the speech, I actually just got sent all the photos, and a lot of them are of me, obviously, because they emailed me the ones of me, obviously. Right. Yeah. And some of them are not very flattering, but the whole time it's me with my hands like this and like that, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff with my hands, and it's not the most flattering angle, but I think it's almost a little depressing.
You think it's a credibility hit?
Yeah, probably. Like it's less sexy, and it's less exciting, and you gain less status. I wonder what the class thinks of me. I don't know, and I never will, really, unless I gave a survey, and even then they're not going to necessarily tell me the full truth. So, but I would say it was more fun when I didn't bring up the spreadsheets and when I didn't bring up the failures. My first business failed when I was in 2012. So the second one is it's less fun. Just pure and simple. It's not, I had a coaching session earlier with one of my clients, and she's like, where do I suck? Where am I doing wrong? Like, go through my finances, go through my systems, tell me everything you think is wrong. That's not fun. Mm-mm. That's terrible. It's okay. She's going to win, and she's going to be great, and she is great, and she's crushing it. But everything in real life is, where am I sucking? Like, you and I don't get to just, hey, we're awesome, go us. Like, it doesn't, that's not how it works. Apple can't be like, hey, we're the best and we're good, we're just awesome.
Yeah, but
Apple
remember,
needs to look at every
most
issue.
people are not trying to be Apple. I do
understand that.
Kevin's advocate. Most people are not trying to be Apple.
Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes. The second one is, it's just less fun. It's less funny and less fun, and it's certainly less humorous too. It's very serious. Life is a very serious game. Business is a very serious game. Your career is a very serious game. And you and I mess around, you make jokes, but the truth is always more serious. And I think not all, but a lot of humor is actually covering up deep insecurities. And a lot of comedians talk about that. The third one is numbers. I just think no one really likes numbers. That's been really hard for me. I did a fitness session with one of my clients earlier, and we went through her fit tracker and calculated everything, and she's going to lose 8 more pounds we have 70 days in Q2, and that's 10 weeks, and 8 pounds in 10 weeks, okay, 0.8 or so, 0.7, whatever. And I basically said, like, based on the trend line, like, you have to speed up. You have to either exercise more or eat less. Which one do you prefer? She's like, well, I'd rather eat more. I said, okay, well then exercise more. So let's bump your workouts up. And she said, how did you calculate that? And I graphed it for her, and I showed her the trend line, she's like, no, Alan, how? Like, what is your brain actually calculating? And I said, I don't know. It's just, I look at the number and it can extrapolate, okay, by this date you won't hit. And then we graphed it and showed the trend line. I've done this with you before too. Mm-hmm. If I graph it and I say, okay, so July 1st is when she's optimizing for. If you graph it and you show the trend line, which is essentially just a bunch of data, and then a trend line is just the average sort of, if it's a projection. And if you graph it, you see she's way off the chart. She's like, it's not close. And so all we have to do is get that. You have to shift now, otherwise you're going to drive off a cliff, metaphorically. And you won't get your goal. And then you'll make some excuse as to why you didn't and whatever. And she's like, well, I want to learn how to do that. And it's like, listen, you got to go take math courses. I don't know what to do. My brain can calculate all that. It's not my conscious brain. It's my subconscious and unconscious. And one thing that I will say when it comes to success, I asked her this, and I'm probably getting red because this is vulnerable for me. I said, well, what do you do? Because I calculate everything. Like, when something's not working, I just recalculate. I recalibrate. And she's like, I'm just doing things. And I'm like, what do you mean? You just hope it works? Like, for me, I don't have that, Kev. I don't hope
that was me. That was me for sure.
So how do you know what to do and what not to do? You know what I mean?
You don't. You try stuff, and I think there's 2 ways. One, it feels right, or it feels good, and you're like, screw it, I'll do that. That's one. Second one is it doesn't work, and then you convince yourself. I won't even say convince yourself, because I don't mean it in that negative way. You don't know why it didn't work, so you just have a list of reasons it didn't. And none of them most likely are actually correct, but you don't know any better. I didn't know any better. Again, the fitness thing was something that helped me a lot because it helped me understand a little bit more than I would have inputs and outputs. Like, okay, when I eat a certain amount, I look a certain way. Interesting. Okay, let me test that out. Oh, cool. Okay, that works. But with other stuff, I didn't understand how it worked.
One last thing I'll share, and I want your answer on this because I think it's more valuable for you to answer than it is for me. When you do have a specific goal in the future that you want to hit, so let's say by July 1st you want to weigh a certain amount, or by July 1st you want to get a certain number of clients, or by July 1st you want to make a certain amount of money, what you want no longer is relevant. Like
what you want in the short run.
What you want to do on a day-to-day basis is irrelevant to that equation. Genuinely. So
That's fair.
I'm going to be very candid on this, so please don't villainize me for this. But like when I wake up in the morning, I don't do what I want. That's not part of the calculation.
Yep.
I want to be outside with Emilia right now. It doesn't matter. My goals require me to be in here with you. And I think that to answer the question of like why people talk about passion, I think that the hard truth that no one wants to share with anybody is like, if you do want to actually succeed at high levels, you pretty much have to sacrifice a large majority of what you want to do. Like if you want to be married, you have to not be with other women. Like there's always a sacrifice that no one wants to talk about. And even in the industry, there's so many people who say, oh, it's not a sacrifice. Like, what are you talking about? It's worth it, and it's the better road. I'm with you there, but of course it's a sacrifice. If you want a six-pack, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of the things you want to eat, a lot of things you want to do, and it's just mathematically inaccurate. And so my question for you, to have you kind of wrap up here, is I don't really have what I want to do in my decision-making set. I want to watch a movie tonight, and I will, and I'll pick a movie that I think is not going to be detrimental to my long-term strategic vision. But other than that, the majority of my day is spent building toward goals and dreams that require me to be and do a certain thing. Doesn't mean I'm not fulfilled, but what I want is, I don't wake up in the morning and like think about what I want. I think about what's optimal for my goals. So for you, you've been on both ends of this and you've lived both ways. So I think I'd ask you about the passion thing.
I think it's important to be passionate about, I'll say this. Okay. This, while we do an episode every day, this actual thing that you and I are doing right now is kind of what I do the least. If we were to break down the numbers, like today, I did a coaching call. I was on a marketing meeting with someone, with one of our clients, and then we're recording this episode, and then we're doing a group coaching session after this. That's 3 hours. 3.5 hours, 4 hours. The rest of my day, I did stuff that I'm not as passionate about. And or I've learned to be passionate about. I was not passionate about sales. I love sales now. I learned to be passionate about sales. Does that mean I want to go do sales all day? No.
In the beginning, you hated it.
I hated it.
It's very important for people to hear that. It's so important for people to hear that.
I've relearned.
I still don't like it that much, to be completely honest. I know. It's a necessity, but I don't like it. Go ahead.
I've relearned how to be passionate about coaching.
Yeah.
I had, in the beginning, I was passionate about it, and then I was like, I think I fucking suck at this. I think I'm terrible at coaching. And then it was like, okay, maybe I want to serve a different clientele. Okay, I don't want to talk about mindset. I want to talk about podcasting. Then for a while, it was like, I don't really fucking know anything. I don't know like how to... It's a whole thing. I've learned to be more passionate about it, especially recently. That would be the takeaway. I know we got to pop because we got to go get on group coaching here. If you do want to chase your passions, you are most likely going to have to learn to be passionate about all the things that it requires to sustain that passion. And there is a more likely than not probability that you don't make it. And that's would you be more fulfilled chasing your passion and not getting it? Like you're 100% passion than going for something that you're like 75% passionate about. Right. We'll have to do a part 2 on this.
Next level lesson real quick would be the science of achievement doesn't care about what you want. The science of achievement, that's not part of it. I care about what you want, and I want to integrate what you want with what is necessary, but the science of achievement and your goals don't care at all about what you want to do.
Mine was what I just said. I would say that's my next level lesson. All right, we got to hop. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.